least appreciate it at least a little bit, you know.
What advice would you give for like a musician who's just at home and has written some songs and has invested into some basic gear and they're recording? They don't have that uh, relationship that you're talking about, where you can kind of think about how these people that you work closely with would react before you even let them play it. They're just doing all of this on their own. How do you step out of what you have done and listen to it from a new perspective to try to see what changes or improvements you could make?
I'm not sure that you can. You have to get input from others to know that you're at least going in the right direction. The problem that I see with that is that a lot of times people won't be genuinely honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, they'll tell you, "Oh, that shit's fire." You know what I mean? Or, "That's dope," or whatever the case, just to placate you.
Hmm.
That's why I think it's important to kind of have those people in your corner, so that won't sugarcoat anything. That will tell you, you know, you're flat here, or you're off there, or the snare don't hit right here, or you should use a different synth here and make that happen. Because you know, other people, they don't care if you sink or swim.
Right.
But if you got somebody that genuinely wants to see you win, and they don't necessarily have to be a musician. A lot of times I hear artists, they'll play a record for somebody and they may not be a musician, and they'll be like, it's okay. And they get in their feelings and be like, he ain't even a musician. He don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, but he can hear the music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't mean he deaf just because he ain't never made a record, So just
That's your audience.
yeah, you know what I mean? And I learned at a very young age that everybody's a critic. So just because people are critical of your stuff doesn't necessarily mean they're haters or they hate you or anything like that. Um, Everybody has an opinion, and they don't have to necessarily be knowledgeable in the craft that you're knowledgeable in to know what sounds good, what looks good, what feels good, and what don't.
Right.
You know, get with your wife, and she may hate your music, but she may also hear something in the music that could enhance the music that she hates that you produce. You
Right.
know, doesn't mean that she hates you or she don't want to see you win. She may be telling you that so you can win. And artists are sensitive people with egotistical. Um, we may cry on you if you tell us you don't like our shit. You know, but get out of your feelings. Get out of your feelings and take the criticism and get better.
Yeah.
You know, just like when you got started with filming, you were not nice. You know what I mean? And
What?
I
I'm a run before I walk kind of guy.
you a fly before you crawl type of dude.
You got that right. Right off the cliff. That's where I'm going.
Absolutely. But you had I won't say you weren't nice. I'll say you had a lot of learning to do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep.
But
Yep.
you got better, and you wanted to get better, and it takes a lot of that too, wanting to be better.
Hmm.
If you're complacent with what you're doing, there's no room for growth. You know, but even in those times, I never said to you, "You suck" or "Your shit's awful" or whatever the case may be. If anything, I wanted to give you words of encouragement so you would keep going.
Hmm.
Because if you're too critical on people, people are sensitive and they be like, well, forget it. This ain't for me. I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
You know. But I know you had passion before you even had a camera. So the last thing I wanted to do was discourage you. Even though there was still a whole lot of work to do.
Hmm.
I still wanted you to be the best that you could be. So I wasn't gonna. The last thing I was gonna do is tell you, Brandon, man, this shit is garbage. I was not gonna do that to you and whatnot. Because for one, I needed a video guy.
Right.
You know?
I remember I had a guy in one of my film classes. He was in my group. The teacher divided us up, and there was like 3 or 4 people in a group. And I think we had 3, and one of the guys quit like right away. Every semester, no matter what class you ran, there's always people that drop out.
Mhm.
And so it was down to the 2 of us. And this instructor liked to use the term hot garbage.
Yeah.
And we would turn something in and he'd play it for the whole class. And then he'd be like, this is hot garbage. And I'm going to tell you why. And he left, but that was my favorite professor, one of my favorite professors of all classes, because he was completely honest with you. And I
Yeah.
remember turning stuff in and I'm like, man, this is the best thing that I've made in this class. And he would find everything wrong with it and point it out frame by frame.
Mhm.
And I remember the guy that was in my group with me. It was just the 2 of us left, and he directed one of the videos, and we turned it in and said, "Here we go." And he did the same thing. This is hot garbage, and I'm gonna tell you why. And he got the same rant that I got the week before. He never showed up for class after that.
Did you ever run into that kid after that? You ever
I
see
did
him
not.
again?
I did not.
Really?
Never saw him again.
He dropped the class and everything?
I don't know what other classes he was in. That was the only one that we had together.
Uh-huh.
But he was done. Like the instructor, basically what you just said. The instructor told him that he wasn't good and that he didn't have an eye for it, whatever his breakdown was. And that kid, it hurt his feelings, and he left. And he was out of the program. Never saw him again. But someone like me, like if you tell me I suck and I don't think I suck, then I'm going to try to not suck the next time.
Right.
And so I kept coming back, and for the remainder of the semester, it was just me against other groups of 3. So
That's why you're as good as you are today.
I try. But yeah, I had to start wearing all the hats right away, but it also made me not a good team player because I'm used to wearing all the hats, and then now that you have that hat on, take it off. I don't like what you're doing.
Right. It can be difficult. You're right. It can be difficult. And I remember having conversations with you to where you'll tell me, man, like this guy just don't do it like I do. You know
Right.
what I mean? So you're like, I don't even want to fuck with him because he don't really he don't do it the way that I do it and whatnot. You know. But I also think that can be a good thing too, to wear those many hats because you're never stuck.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like you can always keep moving if you know how to ABC 1, 2, 3 XYZ.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's why I asked you earlier if wearing all those hats makes you better.
It's the peanut butter magic.